I think I fixed it, Pete.
We on?
I think so.
Put my YouTube off just in case I get feedback.
No, you're good. Can you see us? Pete, oh my God. All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we got it, and we got the links. All right, thank God. Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. That was all me, not Pete. All right. So welcome to OnChain and UnCut. Tonight we've got PETEtheCREATOR with us. Pete, thank you so much for being here. Pete has been around the horn with multiple collections and is very versed in the NFT space. And it's a pleasure to have him on tonight. We're going to pick his brain as well as share my screen with you guys for all his collections. He's got some exciting stuff in the pipe. And Pete, I'm going to let you have the floor here in a minute. Can you see us live now? Can you see the screen?
What, can I see it?
Correct. Yeah. Do you see your ImposterPunks?
Let me just go on YouTube and get it up because I didn't know if there'd be feedback.
No,
so
dude, yeah. Guys, this is all my fault. Pete's probably like, "What the fuck am I doing? Why am I here?"
Not at all. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck, bro. I'll see you later.
Hang on, let me have a look.
Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
What can I? Yeah. No, that's all cool. Yeah, so is the sound right now? I've just muted that on YouTube.
Yeah, no, you can mute it on YouTube and you can mute your YouTube. I just wanted you to be able to follow along with the screen as I'm sharing your project so you can kind of talk to people through it. But why don't we just kick things off? I'm sorry for the shaky start, but why don't we kick things off with a little background on a little bit about you, what got you into NFT space, what was your first project, just a little background, and we'll dive right into ImposterPunks next.
Definitely, yeah. So, well, sort of at the start of the year, I first found out about NFTs. I was just looking at something to do with cryptocurrency, and then I saw an article that was just, I can't remember who it was, but it was someone who basically, life-changing sum of money from selling some sort of painting or something on Ethereum. And so, so I just looked into it from there. And I thought, well, give this a go. Because I can obviously create the art, because I'm a designer by, 9 to 5. And I thought sort of create these little characters, which were the crypto miners. So I created a few of them to begin with and just started dropping a few of them out on OpenSea. But I soon realized then that it was all about the smart contracts and the high volume generative stuff. And I wasn't doing that. So I thought, right, let me look into that. And then when I couldn't get my head around smart contracts. It's way too technical. I just thought there's got to be some other way. Just got chatting to a few people and they were like, have you seen Wax? And I was like, at the time I hadn't heard of Wax. This was probably around February time.
Okay.
And I sort of had a look at that, Atomic Hub and different things, and just drawn in by the utility and everything that it had to offer for an artist. Like if you create NFTs on Wax, the amount of things, the offering that you get, the utility that you can apply to your projects compared to Ethereum is just, it's mad really. And NFT blocks as well, like having them on board, or not on board, but on Wax and helping people out with projects is massive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, those guys over there, like they helped with the clowns. Dude,
yeah.
Talk about a night and day, and like on the same blockchain dealing with Atomic Hub versus Nifty Blocks. As soon as Nifty Blocks gets that marketplace, bro, Atomic Hub's going to be like irrelevant. I mean, it's not. It's not going to work anymore.
And the thing is, I've spoken to Atomic Hub. I mean, it doesn't sound like they've sort of got any plans to do things quickly from my understanding. I might be wrong, but I think if Nifty Blocks, or when, should I say, if they get that marketplace out there, then it's just the full package in it.
Bro, yeah, and
It's-
you know, just, and I don't want to like throw shade at people, but just to get an artist onboarded, whitelisted with, you know, just a semblance of ability to do anything on Atomic Hub, bro. Like you can show up with your passport, your documentations, your boarding pass, and they're still like, well, we need 400 followers. I mean, they just keep adding to the list of making it hard for, you know.
There's a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
Like when I set up PETEtheCREATOR, it was like, I said, but you know me. Like, I've done the ImposterPunks. It's whitelisted, it's there, you know it's me. And it's like, yeah, but you still need to pack. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like 3 days of emailing back and forth. But anyway, that's
yeah. They'll wean themselves off. It's gonna happen. But anyway, regardless. So continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah. So then, where was I? Yeah. So then I was sort of playing around, thinking I need an idea for a project on Wax. And I was thinking like, originally I thought like it's all to do with games and NFTs that relate to sort of bits and pieces of games and sort of utility in that front. And I wanted to do a generative project like you see on Ethereum all the time, but on Wax. So that was sort of what I set out to achieve. And I sort of started playing around with a few little characters, different ideas, and I thought, well, CryptoPunks is massive. It's the big one that everyone knows on Ethereum. I thought, well, you know, use some of their sort of attributes, and I sort of started redrawing some of them, and got the base character from the Imposter Among Us game and drew a pixel version of that and combined the two, and then just started sort of developing a bit of a concept just to sort of play around with the generative art and layering up all the PNGs and sort of see what that code would spit out. And that's sort of where it came from, really. And then when I was looking, I was thinking, these are actually quite cool.
Right.
So then I started developing. I quite liked them. It started out as a bit of a, you know, just sort of a bit of an experiment, just to sort of try something. But then I thought, this is, you know, these guys could go on a little journey. And then I started sort of just evolving this project around them and sort of introduce these chapters. And it's, well, you know, they were the first. There's 2,000 of them.
Right.
And that took about, I mean, well, I started speaking to Nefty blogs, and then they were like, yeah, you know, we'll help out with the script and the code, and we sort of dropped them. And they were like, what about marketing? And I sort of said to them, I'm not too bothered about it, but you need to market it, otherwise you won't sell out. And I was thinking, but I want to use these as the tool to market the project. And they were my marketing tool. Do you know what I mean? The actual,
I do.
The packs were what I was using, and it took 10 days, and I think I only sold maybe 150 packs.
Sure.
On the drop.
Yeah.
Out of 2,000, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's rubbish. They've only sold 2."
You suck.
I was like, yes, I've sold 150 packs. Like, amazing. Like, and then I just sort of carried on. I sort of built a little community on Telegram. We sort of jumped over to Discord now, but like it was just cool. Like it was just people who were interested in the project that were on board, and we were just all chatting. And then over time, sort of word spread. It was like 10 days, and then I was just sitting there, and I think it was a Friday or Saturday night, and I was just sitting there, just chatting away in Telegram and that. And then all of a sudden, it was like another 30 have sold, and then 70 sold, and then it's like. Literally must have been about 1,000 in a day. And I was like, oh, that's what it's about.
Got it.
Done it. So,
got it.
And obviously, like the whole community, like they're still there. You get the odd few who I think have sort of maybe fallen out of love with it for whatever reason. But it's hard to sort of please everyone, especially with sort of timings as well. It's like, how quick do you release these chapters? Or do you do it boom, 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 or do you take your time and roll it out slowly? And I mean, I've got these 10 chapters all mapped out, and I've got characters designed for future chapters, like already, and then I've got like chapter 4. I know what I'm doing, but I've not created the characters yet, and it's a bit like that. And I know where everything's going, but then I've done like little offshoots, so like the punk pets. I don't know if you've seen those.
I have. Yeah.
So that was just like 200, just little pets, just unannounced, not really on the roadmap as such. It was just, I thought, oh, it'd be something quite cool just to throw in there. So there'll be a few things like that along the way. And there's been a big gap, I suppose, probably a few months now between chapter 2 and chapter 3, but that's imminent. And that's coming soon. I've not given too much away on chapter 3 yet. But there's, well, chapter 2 was the crypto miners, and that wasn't that well received. In that there was different types of imposter punks. You have like alien, zombies, apes, pinks, beige, and brown. Whereas with the crypto miners, there was like a flat, like there was no different characters, and they all had the same number of attributes. And I think,
right.
Like, it's good feedback for me. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Because, and they will still have a purpose in the journey. Like, you still will need them for future chapters.
Right. It's just more of a slow burn. And I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think, because I cut my teeth in the Ethereum world, when you could go down under the actual image and click properties, and everybody was chasing those 0.4, 0.8 rarities, and when that translated over, there was kind of a disconnect, as you know, some people were collecting for the low mints, and some people were collecting for the rarities, and some people were collecting for the sets and the set rewards. So I think that there's a lot of ways to collect, and I think the lost in translation between blockchains just hasn't caught up yet. And it will, but it just hasn't caught up yet. So I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
but I mean, for me, it's nice to sort of have that feedback, because then you sort of won't make that mistake, if you want to call it a mistake. But do you know what I mean? I won't do the same thing again.
Right.
Moving forward, so it's quite cool. And then obviously I cut the sale short. I think it was maybe about 1,200. It was 2,000 originally, and then got to about 1,200 installed. So I just sort of cut that then. So that gives them a bit more. They're a bit rarer in the sense that there's 1,200 101s instead of 2,000. But yeah, they will have a purpose later on. So hopefully that'll. About people who've sort of.
It's hard in the beginning, isn't it, bro? Like, what number? Like, we went through this with the clowns. Like, what number? We want to make it available to everybody that wants some, but you know, where do we cut the line of having too much inventory? You know what I mean? So it's kind of a slippery slope, and it's really hard to dial in without prior market experience in that project. So yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
Yeah, because I suppose you're learning on the job.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's too late once you've dropped it. You know, if you drop 10,000 and only 1,000 sells, it looks like a shit job.
Right. But when actuality, like, you did a bang up job. It's just you know, there's just, you know, it's tough. And it is. And the funny thing, Pete, is you mentioned on the job training, this whole industry, from creators to collectors to connoisseurs to investors, we're all learning together. I mean, this is brand fucking new stuff.
100%.
So I think us there's a lot more forgiveness within, you know, a project not selling out and then launching version 2 or an offshoot thereof in another, you know, space or blockchain or whatever. I think there's a lot of forgiveness as of now. I think as we go forward, I don't think, you know, people. Just kind of like we were talking off topic before, it's like, you know, you go on vacation for 2 days and it's a rug pull. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, I was in the bathroom, dog. I promise, I'll be right back. So, well, why don't you? Let's switch gears. Why don't? Speaking of your projects, I've got all your windows pulled up here. In an order we kind of discussed before the show, but I've got you pulled up your newest drop, which is the ImposterPunks, and then I've got kind of the roadmap and everything pulled up. You kind of guide me. You can see my tabs at the top possibly. I'm on ImposterPunks.com. If you want to walk us through that website, that'd be dope.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't looked at it for a while, so I'll just have to keep it up. Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, then on that home page, so basically, underneath that's on your screen now. Oh yeah, that's a bit slower on. Yeah, that's cool. It's basically just the chapters. Every chapter is sort of preceded by a little comic strip that just sort of sets the scene. And basically the whole project is all about the imposter punks on their journey. No one knows where they're going to end up, but the idea is that they've come to the blockchain, they've got onto the blockchain. So the first up, they got their disguises, which was they dressed up as the CryptoPunks sort of style, traits and attributes. Then they met these crypto miners and they sort of dug them onto the blockchain, and they were like little animated GIFs that picked the ground. And then the third chapter and fourth and so on is all different character sets, basically. So it's a new character every chapter will have a new character.
Ah, okay.
So the imposters, they won't feature in any of the other chapters. Again, do you know what I mean? They are just, so each of these chapters, if you like, is a standalone.
So they
project.
stay in that so like consider each chapter like a world they advance to. The other people stay in their chapter 2 world or whatever.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, they're sort of going from A to B and they meet people along the way. And each chapter is someone new that they meet. So chapter 3, and they're not all the same format as well. So like there was 2,000 imposter punks, there was 2,000 crypto miners, and they were the same sort of format. But chapter 3, which is going to be dropping in October, is quite different. It starts off with one character, and there's only 500 available. So this is an exclusive, by the way.
Okay.
The first time I've told this sign. I don't know.
Look at that. I can't even put together a stream, but you're going to unveil some crucial information to me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I guess you're not scared to, I probably can't figure out how to share it anyway.
Yeah, that's all right, I'm saying. It's just me and you chatting, did it?
Yeah, for sure.
No, we got, so there's one character, and there's blending involved. So basically, everyone buys the same character or collects the same character, but then there's the option or different options to then make that character a one-of-one. So ultimately, you all start off with the same character, but then everyone will end up with a one-of-one, if that makes sense.
It does.
Blending.
It does. It does.
Then there'll be different sort of things that you can blend that will then generate different rarities, and then that's when that side of things will come into play.
And so as you're blending into your one-of-one, you're also diminishing supplies. So you're creating a more scarce market along the way, or are you trying to blend? The one-of-one is the end game, so eventually you'll get them all blended out into the one-of-ones.
Everyone will be blended out into a one-of-one, but it's how rare that one will be. So basically,
got it.
There'll be 500 characters to start with, all the same, and then there'll be different packs or different objects that you can, like bundles, if you like, that you can blend with that character. Okay. So that'll result in whether you've got, a 3 trait, a 5 trait, whatever, those traits will sort of get added to the character in the blend. Understood. And switch it up a bit.
So this reminds me, and this, I could be speaking out of turn, but this kind of reminds me of duchies. The duchies where you can add, a skateboard and a necklace and all that stuff to him. Sort of kind of that same mindset.
Yeah, it is. It's that sort of, that sort of idea.
Okay.
In that, you get your sort of attributes get sort of added, but then that makes it a one-of-one, if you see what I mean.
I do.
So then everyone will end up with a one-of-one.
What's the best site for me to be showing right now? Is that do you have any? I know you said this is an exclusive. Do you have?
Yeah, there's nothing on this at the moment. I've just leaked one little sort of little teaser on my Discord a while ago, which was just a blurred out crop of the middle of one of the images. But it'll all come on the ImposterPunks website eventually, and it'll start with the comic strip in the next week or so, and then that'll be, well, after that we'll start sort of sharing some of the characters and showing what's going to happen. But yeah, Discord's the place if anyone's interested. Like, Discord's where it's quite inactive at the moment, but obviously when the promo comes for the drop and that, then it's
people are commenting in the chat, exclusive info with eyeballs, so they're hearing you loud and clear. If you guys check under the description of the video, I have linked out everything from Discords to websites to Twitters. We're going to kind of get into some other things Pete's working on, but the ImposterPunks, I think, is the main takeaway of the latest and greatest. I know I'm going to be going down a rabbit hole here soon on one. I got to get a 1-to-1 now, so I'll definitely be chasing the dragon over here again. Something else I don't need to be doing, but these look really cool. And I like how you've kind of not only taken like a cool pixelated form and then taking them on little journeys, but I like how you're ending up in sort of chapter 3 where they're blendable, which is, you know, that's quite unique, especially in Wax. I only know one other person that's doing it where it ends up being something. It doesn't start off where it ends up. So
that's sort of part of the appeal, like for Wax, from a creator's point of view. Do you know what I mean? Like this,
I do.
This is stuff you just don't get on other blockchains.
Yeah.
So it's like you need. Well, I feel like I need to use this stuff because it's there and it makes the project a bit. I'm not saying it makes it unique, but it just adds just more interest, really. It gives people something to do rather than just buying a PNG.
There's so many tools, and we were talking about this earlier. There's so many tools underutilized on Wax. Like just everything. I mean, from Nifty Blocks blends to the cross collection blends, the super blends they do now.
Yeah.
To just a simple, like where Agora cut its teeth just to gain a little traction in the market was the auctions. I mean, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We just made a website. We accumulated some talent that wanted to donate number ones and one of ones, and we marketed it. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a free service. So, and Pete and I were talking before. You know, there's kind of a lull in the market, whether you know it's Wax or any blockchain in general. When people wake up to Wax, not only is there going to be a huge influx, but like we're already here. We're already here with stacked collections. We're here with the groundbreaking type scenarios, like Pete's saying. You know, you get you start off with a character and then you blend your way into a one of one. Like this is shit nobody's doing. That Wax is just like it's so multifaceted within each and every aspect of a collection. You know, Pete, you hinted at it, the gamification of NFTs. Wax is set up to like be there. I mean, we were talking about it earlier today.
Definitely. And I think, like, you see, I mean, Ethereum's the big one where everyone's sort of buying, you know, their Bored Apes, their CryptoPunks, whatever else, there's loads. And they're going for big money. Like the floor price is what, 20, 30 grand on a lot of these projects.
Yeah.
And you think, like, Wax has got everything they've got. And there's so many good projects now on Wax. Like lots of generative art, profile pic, avatar stuff. You know, there's some really cool ones. And yeah, like you said, when people wake up to it, it's easy now that we're, you know, you can change your ETH straight for Wax and jump across, you know?
Yep. There was a stigma, I think, and again, like I did start off in Ethereum, and my personal viewpoint for a long time was Wax was the second class citizen. Wax was the thrift store of NFTs. When I actually explored the Wax blockchain, the NFTs, the ease of use. Hey, my buddy wants one. Oh, let me shoot him 3. There's no gas, whatever. Just the low barrier of entry as far as a price point to just get involved. You know, Johnny Q Public really hasn't woke up to NFTs. We're so close to the NFT space when we look up from our computers monitors and walk around town. And if you told 10 people what you did that day, they'd look at you cross-eyed and say, what are you talking about, bro? When those people come in, they're not going to run and jump in and spend $2-3 grand, which we're used to seeing in Ethereum. And they had the mass adoption, Pete. The Ethereum, you know, they got the celebrities, they got the influencers. That's cool. But when people actually dig in, you know, it's kind of like Ethereum versus Cardano, the blockchains, you know, the dApps, etc. It's the same thing when people are, you know, the newness and the shininess wears off. They're like, why the hell am I doing things on Ethereum when I could be on Wax and doing the exact same thing, but easier, better, with lower barrier to entry for the new collectors, which are coming. You know, we talk about the other day credit card drops being the entry into the market. You know, you can make a Wax wallet with 30 seconds and an email address, and you can buy Wax directly from the Wax wallet with a debit card. $20, shit, that's good enough to start. And then people start playing with it, and we're here, you know. 100%. And you don't know how, and you don't have to know how to make a MetaMask and then go in there into an exchange and figure all that out and then buy it and then cross your fingers and cross your toes when you transfer it to your wallet for your first time. You know what I mean? And you normally do a test transaction, and then that test transaction, just to make sure you're doing shit right, cost you $100 in gas just to get your $20 across the network. You're just like, dude, they give up. You know, people are lazy by nature. You need to make this shit easy for them and cheap. Whether it cheapens the blockchain or not, that's their entry into this space, which is mass adoption. So I'm done ranting.
No, I like when you said about the little test there, the test transaction. We've all done that. Yeah. You sit there and you wait sort of 6 minutes for it to come across you. Where is it? In progress. Yeah.
And then you pay money for your, you know, you pay double what you sent just to send it. You know, it's economically not sound, I guess is the best.
No, and I think you've got that whole, like, Wax is green, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are early. Like, that's, you know, these projects are really early in the space. Like, I think give it a year or so, and I think the floor on all of these Wax projects is going to go up.
Oh yeah, and we'll think about this too, Pete. You know, we saw, I was at that monumental moment of Wax. You know, was it 25 cents? And then it dropped down to like 8 cents. Then it was at 12 cents for a long time. Then it was between 12 and 16 cents. And then one night it went from 16 to 38, 40. And then it kind of trended back down to 32. Think about this, like, not only being early and, you know, getting your 500, 2,000, 10,000 pieces of art. You're involved in 10, 12, 15 projects. You know, you got a collection here, you got a collection there. Think about when Wax runs to $2, $3, then everybody comes in because, you know, they figured out Wax is like really kind of the way. And, you know, then mass adoption comes in, drives Wax price further up. And then you've got people actually bringing some real art, like yourself, like Oliver, like several other people in the space that should be on Ethereum, and I'm doing air quotes because they're real artists or real projects and got a real roadmap, but they chose Wax, and people wake up to that fact. I mean, we're just so early to wax, man. We're not only early to the NFT space, we're early to wax, and we're so close to it that any drop of the hat of, oh, well, you know, this project went from wax to Ethereum, and, you know, they got 6 ETH traded within the weekend. That's cool. It's not sustainable, though, and it won't be sustainable, and they're going to have to be ever evolving in this space, which is very, very tiring for creators to create one, much less multiple projects. So I'm going to stop ranting now, but what I'm saying is it's coming, and for people to jump ship and run to Ethereum, it's cool to be blockchain agnostic, right? It's cool. Like to have Ethereum projects and Wax projects, Polygon, Algo, whatever. It's cool to have those projects, but if you're not like in the mainstay of Wax, you're going to miss that wave and be like, oh shit.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, if you start on Wax, you carry through on Wax, you know what I mean? And I think for me, that the goal is I want to make people sort of realize that these types of projects have got a place on Wax. And I think some people need a bit of convincing, but I think a lot of people back it and they get it. And over time, it's like, you know, if you've got your imposter punk now, you know, it's in your wallet. Who knows what's going to happen with that in a couple of years' time? The same for all, like the clans is, you know, Kickback. They've just done their leprechauns and they're pretty cool. They've got a real sort of cool utility with the back wax, and you know, there's loads of stuff, like even the bro punks, you know, they're there, you know, they're always going to be there. And if you've got them and people come in 2 years down the line, even, it's like, if they want them, you've got them. If Wax is then $2 and they want to pay, you know, 10 times what you paid for it, quit in.
Yeah, absolutely. You
know,
and I think a lot of the early adopters of crypto know this. A lot of people I mess with, especially a lot of artists like yourself and some people I rub elbows with day to day, like Pixel Labs, etc. They've been in crypto for years and they understand the blockchain and smart contracts and how it works. And they're literally like going crazy in their own head about, why do people not see this? I mean, that just tells me everything I need to know. And it should tell everybody else everything you need to know. And to kind of dovetail off your statement, you know, you're saying if you got an ImposterPunk in your wallet now, if it 10x's in 2 years or 20x's or 100x's, what do you really have in it, really, versus these other people that you're sweating every day? Oh shit, I spent $1,200 on that piece. Like if it doesn't 2 or 3x immediately, they start sweating it, they sell it for a loss, they're just flipping, then they just burn out, then they're out, as opposed to spending $100 on a project in Wax. And it's like, okay, cool, it was $100. Let me see how that goes in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's it. It depends how you look at it. Like my mindset is that, you know, I'm doing it for myself. I love creating the art. I love the projects. I love trying to build a community. But I want everyone in that community to benefit. You know what I mean? Like everyone who gets in early, I want to take them on the journey with me, with the ImposterPunks. And then hopefully, like if you look at CryptoPunks, they were free in 2017. Nothing really happened with those for about, you know, two and a half years. And then all of a sudden, like boom, like people start buying them, trading them, like then all of a sudden there's a $30,000 floor, and I don't know what it is now, but you know, top ones are selling for millions. And I'm not saying that the ImposterPunks are going to do that, don't get me wrong, but I'm just sort of saying it like that happened.
Well, yeah, case in point.
No one would have expected that.
Case in point, everybody wants instant gratification. This is human nature, right? They're showing up to NFTs. They've been in the market for 3 months. They're all of a sudden an expert, and they're comparing things like you just said, CryptoPunks, etc., at these price points. And any little dip, just like crypto investors that have been in since January, any dip in the market let his hands fold. They start losing their minds. They're bailing ship. So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like, people showing up now trying to justify this, that, and the other, talking about a CryptoPunk that sold for $300,000, but they don't realize the grind from 2017 to 2021 of holding that son of a bitch in their wallet. Is this thing ever going to be of value? A lot of those people probably forgot about it. It's just a bunch of early adopters to crypto that held those things because it was something different at that time. It ended up being like, NFTs just took off. They just as easily could have not taken off, this NFT world.
Yeah. Exactly. And I suppose it's like if you're on Ethereum, you spend 30 grand on an NFT, and then it pulls back a bit and you lose 15 grand or whatever, you're going to be royally pissed off. But if you come to Wax and spend 150 Wax on one, it's not going to, just same price as a McDonald's or whatever.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shit, you were going to throw those fries away anyway, man. Whatever. So, I know it's late over there. Me and you could chop it up for as long as you want, but I do want everybody on stream to see kind of your scope. You've got a lot of legs under you, Pete. I mean, you've got ImposterPunks, you got PETEtheCREATOR, you got AstroCats. So do you want to run them through maybe a couple tabs here? You want to talk about PETEtheCREATOR?
Yeah, that's cool. PETEtheCREATOR stuff, basically the way that came about is I started with the ImposterPunks, but then I wanted to introduce rewards, if you like, for the community for getting in early on the project. And the way I decided to do that was I created a coin. There it is there, actually. If you go back to that Twitter, what is it? The ImposterPunks Twitter?
There's about a 1 minute lag between what I'm doing and
what's over here. Flashing now, yeah.
So yeah, like I see it blinking around over here, but over here we're perfect.
Yeah. On the there's basically the creator coin. If it'll probably come on in a minute on the ImposterPunks Twitter in the images. It's basically there, and I just gave them out to people who'd bought crypto miners and ImposterPunks, and the idea is that serves as a token to get free sort of whitelisted access. It's like proof of ownership. Again, it's all through Nifty blocks, so like they can see if you've got a creator coin in your wallet, and then that qualifies you to get in on free drops from my PETEtheCREATOR collection. And it was sort of my way of giving back to the community. And that said, I've not done a huge amount with that yet. I've created a few things under the PETEtheCREATOR brand. There's these little action figures, and that they start off in a box. I don't know if you've seen them.
I have.
And then if you open the box is the pack, and if you open the pack, you get the assembled action figure with the little accessories that are there and stuff. And that was just a little idea that I'm just going to keep dropping those. I've created a few, just dropping them as and when, and I'll be giving them away free, just as part of this rewards coin.
So I think it's caught up now. Do you see your mining on your crypto miner on the screen now?
Nah, I can see the ImposterPunks Twitter on my screen at the minute with Corp World. That's the Nifty blocks.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, and I'm not trying to throw a kink in the machine here. What's your affiliation with Corporate World?
I've got no affiliation with Corporate World.
Okay. I didn't know if you rubbed elbows with them, because I did way early on in my NFT career. I was heavy in their Telegram, I believe it was, and I bought all their promo pieces that ended up being airdropped. Anyway, very much a side note, but I didn't know if you guys had worked together in the past or something.
No. I mean, what you see there. This is called the Nifty blocks collection, where they I can't remember what they're called it now. It's completely gone. Basically, the cross collection. They did a thing where they got sort of, I think it's 20 odd artists from Wax.
Okay.
Creators and projects.
Was it a pioneer thing?
Yeah, it was with these sort of pioneer passes that went out to.
Okay.
Like I got 500 and gave them out to my, people who collected my NFTs and stuff, and I think all of these like corporate world did popcorn.
Got it. Understood. Understood.
And it was basically a way of, it was quite a cool idea, but it's a way of giving, like, there's a one of one in there. Like everyone created 3 NFTs, and one of them was a one of one. One of them was a one of 125, and one of them was a one of 250 or something like that. So there's 3 different rarities in there. So like the guy who, I'm assuming it's a guy, maybe a girl, but the person who collected or won the one of one from my ImposterPunks, like they haven't got any of my collection. So it's a way of sort of introducing them to my collection, and vice versa for everyone involved, really.
Mutually beneficial. Got it.
Yeah, it was quite cool, and it was obviously to introduce the NFT block token and all their sort of new bits and pieces that they got going on as well, which is quite cool.
Got it. I was creating a little drop link for the fans here. You've got quite a cult following, man. I notice every time I bring your name up in a side conversation, like, because I bring the dinos up often, because I love your dinos, and that's where we met was Stack Show.
Right.
Was Stack Show.
Yeah.
But anyway, why don't you tell the people about the dinos? I know there's plans to not revive them, but to refocus on them in the future. But what was the inspiration behind the dinos?
So basically, like, with the PETECREATOR collection, like, it just gives me that platform, that collection, just to do things that are maybe a bit off topic or not part of the ImposterPunk journey, really. Things that are not written into that, but ideas that I've had that I think, I want to drop this. And it was months ago, I was just thinking of like ideas, like what could I come up with this NFT something, and it was like NFT-Rex, NFT bags, NFTV. There's just I was just thinking, got to be something in some of these. And I thought NFT-Rex, that's quite cool. And just started sort of messing about, drawing a dinosaur, and it sort of came from that. And I thought this could be generative. I could, add clothes to them, add the accessories, and literally it just came from that. So I was just sort of doodling away and created these, and just thought I'll drop this as another project on Wax, just to get more generative art out there, and just get another one done.
Yeah. And there's nothing like motion, right, brother? There's nothing like motion. I mean, a lot of people talk a lot, and they'll toy around and think about and write down on a notepad on their whiteboard, but they never do anything. What I like about you is, like, you have an idea, you make a game plan, you make a little roadmap, and you go. You just
go. Do it. If you don't do it, I had an idea a while ago. I was just driving, and I thought, I'm going to do a project. I'm going to call it Jailbirds, and it's going to be loads of different birds, generative again, loads of different birds, right? All with like prison numbers, different uniforms on. I thought, this is it. It's going to be mad. I'm going to, get it done. And then I sort of just sat on it for a couple of months, and then I was just flicking through. What was I on? I was on like Rarity Tools or something a couple of weeks ago. Up and coming projects, Jailbirds, and it was literally, no word of a lie, pretty much everything I thought. Like, and if you don't do it, someone else will. Do you know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
It's like I didn't have the time to do it because I've got so many other things going on at the moment. But it was definitely one I just thought, I'm going to do that in the future. So it's like, I think if you sit on things, someone else will cut, and it'll just piss you off, especially if you've started working on it as well.
Yeah. I see miniature Agoras popping up on Twitter probably every other day. Hey, we can manage your collection, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Not that we've got any groundbreaking, like, new great latest greatest. I mean, obviously there's people before and there'll be people after, but like I said, like, if you, and just to kind of continue what you were saying, like, anytime you think of something, you need to have the conviction about yourself. I changed our rules section of this last night. The conviction about yourself, the belief in yourself, the hustle, the motivation, the hard work, and the grind. and you need to make that mixture. You need to chug it down in your glass or whatever, and you need to go, or you need to do some other shit, because like this space moves fast. So yeah, bro, and y'all keep an eye on these dinosaurs, because me and Pete have been talking in the background. So I would go scoop while the market's kind of dipped here on the dinos, because I'm gonna hang up with this because it reminded me I need to chase my pirate, because I still don't have my pirate one. But yeah, these dinos, I mean, you know, there's lots of generative projects out there, but at the price point and how cute these things are, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, Pete, have you seen the Birds on a Bender Pixel Labs?
I did. Yeah.
They're like blowing
I
cocaine.
like
They're like, it's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They're just cute enough and just degen enough to like squeak by to where it's sellable. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, no, I like them. I did. I saw them earlier in the Discord. I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. Just a little white line disappearing.
So something I'm not as familiar with. Like, I know you're ImposterPunks, and obviously I'm a heavy collector of these dinosaurs, but the AstroCats, I don't know much about this.
Well, this is it's not solely mine.
Okay.
In that, there's others involved in this one as well.
Okay.
But it's sort of, I just worked on the artwork a long time ago, and it took a long time to come to fruition, basically, through the development side of things. So where I think the sort of the smart contract and Etherscan and all that type of development has taken a while. And they've I do sort of follow along, but I sort of took a bit of a back seat in this one at the moment. But it has launched, and I think sales are trickling along. I don't know. I'm not obviously in the Ethereum space actively, so I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of big projects in there, and people are aping into these projects, and the floor just shoots up. Whereas I think there's just so many projects. But this, like, my involvement in this was literally the same as all my other projects, where I've sort of just created the artwork, created the layers, and developed, I guess, everything you can see there, I've done. But then they run the project. So there's these sort of two people I've just met through the space, really, just through chatting. But I mean, I back it. I think it's quite a cool project. I think it'll get to where they want to go. But they've got they've got ideas for this big blockchain game in Sandbox, which I don't know too much about how that all works, but I think like that's their plan. They've got a game at the moment. As soon as this sells out, they've got an altitude game, which is basically if you sort of buy and sell. So the cats all come in crews of 5. That's right, yeah. But then you can separate them all out, and then you can play the game where you sort of load the map to get the highest altitude, and if you've got, you know, the right mint numbers and that type of thing, and then you can win. I think there's lots of giveaways. There's a special prize cat as well, and then they sort of want to take it further and sort of actually develop a gaming sandbox that's more involved. So that's, I mean, my part is more just on the artwork, really, on that one.
Gotcha.
I think it's quite a cool project. It's quite nice just to sort of see how Ethereum works.
Yeah, no doubt.
As well, like actually being in on a project like this.
If you're so I see this going in a couple different directions. Obviously, you know, who am I? But I see it going kind of like the ImposterPunks are going, where they're going on journeys. They're blendable into different aspects, one-of-ones, etc. I see the space going to gamification is the next big wave, I believe. And anything that is like, you know, hand-done art. I see those as the top 3 contenders in the next phase or wave or whatever you want to call it. But if your collection can do 2 of or all 3, you're gonna be on top. Like if your collection's like your ImposterPunks and then they turn into a game, you know what I mean? Because the artwork's there. Like this is the way, and then I'll finish that with, and if your NFTs can become blockchain agnostic on top of all that, where they can move from blockchain to blockchain and be stored in any and all wallets, which there's a way to do it now by bridging and wrapping, you know, Wax and Ethereum and all that blah, blah, blah. But I see that being the future. So you're spot on, bro. Like everything you're doing, like you're versatile enough to not only stand alone as you go, but you can morph into something else like that. So yeah, bro. Hey, congratulations, man. Everything you've done is like tremendous, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's just quite, like I said earlier, like it's just I just enjoy doing it. I love coming up with ideas, and I love thinking how can I make that idea into something that looks good, but that has also got like a message or a narrative or something, and then like will people like it? Like I suppose with the NFT-Rexes, like maybe the fact that there's no utility plan for them, or there's no real roadmap beyond the fact that they are just 2001 at once,
right,
might hold people back, or might be what's held people back. I mean, they hit the wall a bit when Wax obviously got listed on Binance and the price of Wax shot up. That obviously made these NFT-Rexes at one point.
Well, let's talk about that. I don't want to get stuck on things, but not only did a situation occur, like we know how volatile the crypto industry is, but so Pete was selling these things at 100 Wax a piece. Wax was where, Pete, 12 to 15 cents, something like that, when you were selling them at 100. So this thing doubles, right? So what Pete goes out and does is everybody that bought one at 100 Wax, he went out, he dropped the price down to make it more attainable to the general public, and everybody, instead of like just leaving the people out, oh well, you bought at that point in time, he went out and he sent everybody that was already holding, that bought at the price point before the Binance listing, he sent them 2 extra T-Rexes plus a gold one that's only one of 100. So if there's anybody that stands behind the work, I mean, if there's ever a question of that, that sealed the deal for me with Pete, which I was already bought in on Pete after our interview. But I thought, and this is me, like how narcissistic am I thought Pete sent me a present. I swear to God, I thought you sent me a present, and I thought we were going to work together. And I'm like, well, I guess Pete likes me. I guess we're going to work together. And I was like, bro, thank you. He was like, yeah, I wanted to do that for everybody that bought at 100 because I just dropped the price because of the Binance listing, etc. So yeah, I'm narcissistic, A, and B, Pete's a stand-up great guy. Oh man.
No, I just thought, like, obviously, like when you're looking at something 100, like they'd have been what, I can't do maths, but $48 or something, you know. And I just, would that be? Yeah. And I just think it's not that's not the price point that I had in mind, you know. So sort of dropped, and obviously Wax has dropped a bit more now, so they're literally pennies. So go and buy them.
Dude, they're so cheap. They're so cheap right now. You know, one of my moderators scooped your #1 gold.
Yeah.
He's been showing that. I think that's actually his profile picture right now. So
I think it is.
Big T scooped that one, and I hold mine tight. So thanks for reminding me about dinos, because I'm just so like blinders on. Anything that happens outside the walls of Agora, I have no idea what's going on. I forget to drink water, bro. Like, I'm dehydrated. I don't know what's going on. Like, there could be like, you know, shit going down outside. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm locked in.
Blinkers on. I've been like that for the last 6 months. Just head down. Going at it. That's the only way.
Head down. Well, bro, like, you know, I know it's probably like midnight there by now.
11 p.m.
11 p.m. I don't want to hold you all night, but I would like to have you back. I promise to have my shit together and actually know how to stream.
Oh, mate, I'm definitely up for that. With I mean, there's other stuff in store. We got a couple of, I say well, there are. I won't give too much away, but there's other things happening with the Imposter Punks, like the pets that dropped that weren't on the roadmap. There's potential for other things not on the roadmap to happen. And I'm with the T-Rexes as well. I've got a few ideas to bring them back from extinction, so to speak. There's only 200 and something sold, I think.
Nice
so
play on words there. Nice play on words.
Still plenty of packs. So, yeah, we got some ideas for bringing them back to life. Imposter Punks, for everyone who thinks that it's dead, it's literally only just beginning.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that, and hopefully the Discord and stuff will start to become a bit more active over the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, I purged my Discord and I accidentally deleted about 10 channels that I didn't want to delete. I just got pissed off one day and I just started delete, and like a lot of people got caught in the crossfire that I like had to like go back to, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, dude, whatever. Like people take it personally. I swear to God, dude, I'm just like, like Pete just said, blinders on. Yeah. Dude, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. Again, I apologize for the hiccup at the beginning, but I think we made it through and came out the other side pretty glorious. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump off?
Clowns. Has anyone got close to 100? That's what I'm interested in this, because I collect them. So I've got. I'm doing all right on the warped.
Oh, the clowns. The clowns kind of hit a wall as far as selling the trunks, but the secondary and trading within the Discord, bro, people are nuts for these things. They're just so dope.
When the trading in your Discord, I thought it's just such a cool channel, and it's like you just sort of. I spent hours last week just looking through what people have got, thinking, do I need that? And then I realised you actually get like a little green man next to all the ones you've got, but I'm sort of sitting there doing it all in a spreadsheet. I was like, oh shit.
Bro, at the amount of things I've done, like overdone, they're like, dude, there's a button for that. And I've spent like 7 hours. Like, I've got, you can't see because I've got a background, I've got a sea of Post-it notes and legal pads right here because I'm old school, bro. I'm like pen and paper kind of guy. I'm dangerous enough on my computer outside of streaming. There it is. Yeah. Here's my baby. Yeah. It's always here. So yeah, man. I'd definitely love to have you back. I'm thinking about having like a round 2 of like my favorite interviews, and we'll all come together. So like, definitely Oliver will be on Friday. He asked if, he was like, should I jump on with Pete today? And I'm like, yeah, you should jump on with Pete today. He was like, he got caught up, but he's a huge fan as well, and he's got ideas for you. So just keep that in the back of your head as well.
I'm down for that. He's UK based as well, isn't he?
He is Birmingham. Yep. So Oliver's a homie for sure, and he's basically the house DJ of Agora at the moment. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. No, that's wicked. Up for that.
Dope. Well, yeah, man. I'll let you get to some rest. I know we both probably need it. But man, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like, it was literally a pleasure, and I'm an ultimate fanboy, and it really warms my heart watching you with the clowns, because you're like, Pete, for all didn't know, he's like, when is it dropping? Okay, cool. I'm camped out here for the weekend. Like, your support on clowns, like, bro, thank you. That was huge.
No, mate, honestly, my favorite project. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I think the quality. So I'm determined to get that #1 spot of collecting all three of the rewards. The hundreds.
That's
I don't know
sick.
what you, but I'm determined to make it.
That's sick. So my ex-business partner was kind of in control of the tokenomics. I'm gonna revise the tokenomics, and it's gonna be more geared towards the collectors. Not saying that anything retroactively is not going to be paid out, but moving forward from the time of payout of initial, clown collectors are going to get paid in Agora token. So just hold it. And we want to reward people that are like actively, not only just active, but actively like participating in featured presentation events. So excited for the future for everything.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
congratulations on all your success thus far, Pete. It's killer.
Thank you, mate. No, I really appreciate the invite. Love to come on, chat again anytime.
Dope.
Just let me know.
All right.
Definitely. I'll keep trading my clowns.
Definitely. Well, thank all you guys for logging in out there in the interwebs. I'm going to stop the stream. If I say some stupid shit after I think I've stopped it, please forgive me. I'm going to chat with Pete here in the backstage, let's call it. And thank you guys for signing on, and hopefully see you guys in his Discord. Oh, by the way, if you look in the video description, there are links for everything Pete. So there are links for, let me pull it here. There are links for ImposterPunks.com, ImposterPunks Twitter, ImposterPunks Discord. Under that, PETEtheCREATOR Twitter, and 2 Nifty Block sites for PETEtheCREATOR drops, and then 1 for the dinos, the T-Rexes, and then the ETH project as well, the Twitter for that, and the website for that. And then there's a little tidbit about Chapter 3 at ImposterPunks there at the bottom. So you guys have all the links you need to get in touch with Pete. And we're going to rock and roll from there.